So hello one and all present over here. As you all know, myself Tanya Desai, and today I'm going to talk about our fundamental rights and fundamental duties. So now without wasting time, let's start it. The rights which should be followed by the citizen are known as the fundamental rights, while the duties are known as the fundamental duties. So now let's go with the 6 main fundamental rights. Right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, cultural and educational rights, right to freedom of religion, and the last one is right to constitutional remedies. So now we will see this all rights in brief. As in the weaker section should be maintained by the government, as no one can be treated untouchability or unfairly to anyone as on the basis of caste, religion, birthplace or any other thing. Everyone should be equal no matter it's rich or poor or black or white. Everyone should be equal to the law. Now let's go with the right to freedom. As every citizen of this country have right, or we can say the freedom of speech, as he or she can express his or her thoughts to anyone, as they can assemble peacefully without the arms in form of the union or any other association. They can do whichever trade they want to do, or they can settle in whichever part of country they want. But there are restrictions of this freedom also. That if one is free to do anything in the country, it does not mean that any other's freedom should be affected. So now let's see right against exploitation. Any of the individual can't be forced to work in against of his or her wish or without any wages. Any of the children under the age of 14 can't be made work in factories or mines. If this happened, then that person would get jail also. So now let's talk about the right to freedom of religion. Any individual is free to choose any of the culture or religion in this country, as every religion are treated alike. No one can be forced to go in any of the religion without his or her wish. So now let's get upon cultural and educational rights. India is a vast country with several languages and culture. Every person in the country have right to protect or develop their culture. There are many such minority groups like Muslim, Christian or Sikh should also get or they are having the right to protect their culture. If it doesn't mean that Hindu are the majority, so they can't allow any culture to get followed in the minority groups. No, it's not that. Every group are treated alike. And if we talk about the education, every children or every child under the age of 6 to 14 have right to education, should get the compulsory education in the age of 6 to 14 years. So now let's get upon rights to constitutional remedies. Any of the individual is free or have right to ask the justice in the court if he or she feels that his or her that fundamental rights are getting violated. We should also remember that this fundamental right could also be suspended in some emergency or anything. So now let's go ahead with some fundamental duties. If citizens are enjoined to do the fundamental rights, they should also go ahead with the fundamental duties. Obey the constitution and follow the laws, respect national flag as well as national anthem, follow the path of non-violence, democracy and secularism. Fourth, protect the heritage and culture of the country, save the resources, safeguard public properties, avoid such evils like dowry and gambling and many more. There are many fundamental rights which we should know, but here are some of the main which I showed you. So guys, if you like this video, then please hit like to my channel, and if you have not subscribed to my channel, then please subscribe it. Thanks for watching it, guys. So hello one and all present over here. As you all know, myself Tanya Desai, and today I'm going to talk about Kargil War. So now without wasting time, let's start it. The year was 1999 when some Pakistani soldiers infiltrated in Indian territory. But against this, the Indian army fought against them very bravely. As soon a full-fledged war had taken place, and this war was named Kargil War. Our story begins from 3rd May 1999, as once a shepherd named Tashi Namgyal lived in a village named Batalik region. So his yak was at lost. So he and his friend went to look for the yak. As by looking from the binoculars, he saw something strange, that some army force were digging the bunkers into the ground. He noticed that these army forces were from the other side of LOC. He got suspicious and he tried to inform the Indian army. He went to the nearest post of the Indian army and informed that about this thing. And Indian army checked all this thing and the information was correct. This attack was not the mini attack, as this was a well-planned attack by the Pakistani army. Intrusions, they were reported on Dras, Kakshar and Mushko. These are the sectors and their army was reported on 130 posts of these areas. As their aim was to capture the Kashmir, as their aim was critically to block the national highway NH1, and then they would try to attack Kashmir, as they thought after blocking the NH1 road, they could cut out Kashmir from Ladakh and they would keep their whole soldiers in the border of Kashmir. But this was very hard for them to do, as Indian army was against them. It was not the mini attack planned by the Pakistani army. It was a great well plan by the Pakistani army against the Indian army, as intrusions were relocated as at the places of Dras, Kaksar and Mushko sectors, as Pakistani army have already captured 130 posts of around this area, as their aim was to critically block the important national highway NH1 of Jammu Kashmir. They thought they would block the Kashmir and they would cut the Kashmir from the Ladakh part, and after they would capture the Kashmir area. So against this, Indian army fought from them. If we look at this action, it was a direct breach of the Shimla Agreement, as the Shimla Agreement, in this the two countries, India and Pakistan, have agreed to never violate LOC. If any issues or problem are created between India and Pakistan, then resolution would be taken. India attempted many operations and thought to cross the LOC, and also thought for bombing some of the few targets of Pakistan. But Atal Bihari, Prime Minister of India, was completely against this, as we had signed the Simla Agreement. Many countries supported India in this Kargil War, such as European countries, Asian Regional Forum, United States, G8 countries and many more. As at this period of time, US President made a pressure on Pakistan to withdraw their army from the LOC, as now whole world could see that who was right and who was wrong, as all can see that Pakistan had the wrong decision and India was at the right one. If we talk about the ground level situation, then Pakistan had one of the most advantage, as their army was on the top of surface of the mountain, as Dras is one of the coldest inhabited place of the India. So, as Indian army had to climb there, so it was very such fight-full condition for Indian army to do such fight in this all cold conditions. But Indian army still fought bravely against them and had planned many of the operations against them. In Kargil War, Battle of Tololing was considered as the turning point of the war, as it was somehow the highest peak near at that time, as Indian army had to capture that Tololing hill, and after such many troubles they were successful to climb, as their next target was to climb the point 5140, as from Tololing hill to point 5140 there were many mountains, or we can say the mountain humps. So the ninth, or we can say the 10th one, was the Rocky Knob, and from that we had to climb the point 5140. Now again Indian army had such a main problem. While the Indian army was on Rocky Knob, they decided to make the two groups. One was of the Captain Sanjeev Singh, while second was of Vikram Batra. whose name is known as Sher Shah, code word, as he is also known as the Lion King, as these two groups had to climb the mountain from two directions. As they had many troubles, but successfully they both have climbed the mountain. As due to this, Vikram Batra has given the rank of captain. As after this, many missions or we can say the operation had taken places, which were also successful. India won point 4,875, but many heroes were killed during this whole Kargil War, as two main of heroes of climber of point 4,875 were Captain Vikram Batra and Anuj Nair, who were also killed. And after this, the point 4,875 was named as the Batra Top. So now we can say the point 4,875 or Batra Top was a remarkable place of the Kargil War, as Pakistani army got tense as from the all top of the mountain, Indian army had surrounded the Pakistani army. As Pakistani army had a big trouble, so they withdrew their army to the Pakistan. And this how India won the Kargil War. So guys, if you like this history, then please hit like to my channel, and if you have not subscribed to my channel, then please subscribe it. Thanks for watching it, guys. So hello, Banana present over here. As you all know, myself Tanya Desai, and today I'm going to talk about Jallianawala Bagh Massacre. So now without wasting time, let's start it. An important event in Jallianawala Bagh Massacre in Amritsar. General Dyer, a British officer, had banned all the public meetings and professions in Amritsar. But instead of this also, some people went ahead with a peaceful meeting in Jallianawala Bagh Park. This park had only one exit. On the order of General Dyer, one policeman blocked this exit and opened his fire killed thousands of people and injuring many more. This incident took place on 13th April 1990. In response to the cold-blooded massacre, the Indian National Congress led, or we can say launched, one movement called the Non-Cooperative Movement. This was led by Mahatma Gandhi, and it was the first biggest movement which was started, as this was also called as the starting of the Gandhian phase also. Non-cooperation movement was a non-violent protest followed by the method of satyagraha, as ultimately we needed a freedom, as so all the normal people, including all the citizens, started following this movement. Students started boycotting the British school, while a lawyer boycotted the courts, and all the normal people who worked in the shops stopped working there and asked people to buy the Swadeshi or Indian-made goods instead of the British-made goods. Elections and government were starting boycotted, as the British titles and honor were also getting returned, as we thought that this movement was getting successful. And this movement should also get successful, but it turned into a violent manner at the Chauri Chaura in Uttar Pradesh. The processions of the farmer was fired by the British, and the relation of the people burned down the Chauri Chaura police station. And now, unfortunately, Gandhiji had to off this movement. Congress was still against the British authorities, and they still continued to follow the non-cooperation movement, as they were not happy that this non-cooperation movement was getting withdrawal, but it was. So they continued to protest, and they started a revolutionary activity against the British. And this revolutionary nationalist felt that this non-violent can't be independence for the Indian people. Revolutionaries such as Bhagat Singh, Jatin Das, Surjit Jain, Chandrasekhar Azad and many more defied the British, and unfortunately they were kept in death. But still they are remembered to us today also. So guys, if you like this video, then please hit like to my video, and if you have not subscribed to my channel, then please subscribe it. Thanks for watching it, guys.